just waiting on Instagram. Give it a second on Instagram. This is my Instagram. All right. Oh, look at us. We are crossing some streams. What is crossing the streams? It is where we answer the universal question. What should I be binge watching next? I just watched all of this and now I got to watch something else. Well, you've come to the right place. This is episode 141 of Crossing the Streams. We have currently 140 hours of binge watching suggestions just waiting for you on our YouTube channel. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. You can comment YouTube if you're on Instagram, and we will send you a link right to the YouTube, and you can watch all the back catalog. It'll only take you 2 weeks to catch up. If you don't eat or sleep, well, you can eat. You can probably eat, but have someone bring you the food. Then
listen, that's a lot shorter than watching all the actual shows that we talk about.
Right, and then you need another month to kind of watch the shows. All that kind of good stuff. So anyway, okay, let's do the theme song. We got 3 guests. Let's put all of our guests right on top, and we're gonna do the theme song while people come in. And let's start with Jess.
Always starting it off. Here's the story of some lonely fellows who spend way too much time watching the TV. All of them have jobs and friends. Well, not really. Just between you and me.
Top that, Geoffrey.
Oh my God, I have to follow that. They made a live show out of their hobby. Every TV watcher's TV watching dream. Jeff, Ron, Sal, and Bob, and there's Marcy. They call it Crossing Streams.
Zack.
And then one day they went live on all the platforms. You could hear the people laugh and shout and scream. Still can't find another word that rhymes with platforms. But man, we cross the streams.
Everybody together, we cross the streams.
We cross the streams.
That's the way we do it here.
We cross the streams.
Do. Ha! I will share.
We need Quincy Jones.
We do. We need something. So the reason we wrote the theme song was when we started doing live shows, the default was like that 30-second countdown. And it drove me crazy, that 30-second countdown. I'm like, because in a replay, who's going to sit there and watch 30 seconds count down? It never made sense to me. So I'm like, I worked with Bob Phillips, who wrote the lyrics, not the tune.
Gosh,
and I'm like, let's make a theme song that we can at least fill the time. People can then kind of come in, but at least we're doing something, and everyone kind of brings their own flair to it. So we are broadcasting now live across the world. We are in 37 countries. This is very exciting. We got a few guests. We got Jess Paul, Geoffrey, Calhoun. Jeff, you haven't been here in forever. Zack, of course, has been here a ton. Jess has been here a ton as well. Let's Jess, remind everyone about your art and all the goodness where we can keep up with you.
Me? Little me?
You.
Okay. Guys, honestly, this is what I say this. It sounds pretentious. It sounds egotistical, but it's just the easiest way to do it. Just Google Jess Paul. I do come up. I'm very proud of that. Honestly, it's one of my proudest achievements that I come up when you Google the 8 letters of my name.
Jess Paul has spent $300,000 on SEO. So please jump on Google and type in Jess Paul and find all her goodness. And she makes fake
food
donuts.
I didn't gather any around me.
It's incredible though, man.
Maybe later on.
Jeffrey's hasn't been here for a while. He's been making movies and all that kind of writing screenplays and selling screenplays and making movies and his own podcast, of course. So tell everyone.
I was here like 100 episodes ago. I don't know if that counts.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I you can find me at the Successful Screenwriter Podcast. So I've got 223 episodes going right now, and so that's probably the easiest way to find me. I'm also on Instagram at Screenwriter Pod, where I do lives and answer screenwriting questions.
Oh, I love that. I so badly want to write one.
Oh yeah, hop on.
He knows everything. He knows everything. He knows everything about screenwriting. And then Zack.
Yeah, me and my writing partner Dylan, we make a bunch of very weird sci-fi crazy stuff. We actually use Geoffrey's book all the time when writing almost every screenplay or dealing with anything. So it is a genius book that Dylan will not put down. So yeah, we're just called Some Nobodies. We do a bunch of dumb stuff, and it's fun for me.
Zack is extremely creative. Check out all his goodness. So for those of you playing at home, the rules for watching Crossing the Streams. So if anyone in the show drinks, drink. If we have a technical issue, drink. If we have to be asked what platform the show we're talking about is on, drink. If we put your name on the screen or call you out, drink. If we forget anybody's name or anything, drink. So basically, just have a good time. I go by the end. Hopefully, you're having a really good time.
What a Wednesday night.
It's all good. It's all good. So, all right, what do we got? I haven't seen the Godzilla movie yet, but I want to see it without color because I guess they took away color and they made it
so good. It is so good.
So that's exciting. And then I started watching some shows, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which I'm not ready to talk about, and another show called Trying on Apple Plus, which I'm loving, but not ready to talk about. But anyone else kind of True Detective season 4 too. I'm kind of
waiting to hit that.
I'm just about to start that. I needed a few episodes as this airs. I don't want to wait weekly.
I'm 100% with you on that.
Yeah.
I gotta say, this one is a pretty intense season. And I think if a show can be intense and offer a lot and make you want to wait a week, meaning like to decompress and think about what you actually just saw, that's a good show. I gotta say, I haven't seen any of the other seasons. I'm gonna go back and at least watch season 1, I think, because I think this one they say ties in a bunch with season 1, at least thematically, or at least they realized that was the best season and went back and kind of used it as a mold for this one. But Jodie Foster, and I don't know the name off the top of my head of her co-star in this, but she's incredible. They're both incredible. It's a good watch so far. So, all right, when we're all done watching it, we'll come back and debrief.
Good. Sure. Yeah, definitely.
We'll talk about it. So, what do we got? We got if last week, if you were here, we had a really full show. We talked about Reacher season 2, Geddy Lee, our bass player is Humans 2, Ted, the TV show on is it Peacock, which everyone needs to. It's okay even if you leave right now and start watching that. I give you permission. That show is that good. Badland Hunters and Queen Pins. Ted still is my favorite show.
I've already watched. I started watching it all over again. But I just got to mention, after the show, I went into my family room and I immediately turned on Amazon Prime. I was ready for Reacher 2 season 2, and what popped up on my screen? That freaking, hey, we're going to show you some commercials, or you can pay $2.99.
Yeah.
So guess what? I didn't watch
Commercials.
Because I didn't watch Reacher season 2. We don't ever talk about this. Just getting these streaming channels are just coming for us nonstop in so many different ways.
It's cable TV now. It's cable TV.
It is.
It's totally right.
It's so frustrating. I'm like, you can't share it, and you're going to be forced on commercials unless you pay us more money. And I was just like,
I think buying all of them together, that gets a little crazy. But if you look at it at any one specific one, and I had the same thing. I totally forgot till you said it. I paid the $2.99 because I value. I value my time. If I calculate my time, I already have my ROI is one.
It's a month. It's a month.
Oh.
It's a month. An extra 3. What did you say?
My ROI is one commercial.
You know, when they're
Yeah,
like
I agree.
7 out of 10 commercials, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
If
have
a commercial
life.
comes on, I'm changing it. That's it. Like
Yeah.
if I see a commercial, like I don't want this. My life does
Yeah.
not need that.
I'm
Yeah.
I don't
looking
think there's
forward to the
negativity with
commercials
commercials,
at the Super
guys.
Bowl.
They're
When
literally
you, but
like
when you think about it, go ahead, Jess. I'm sorry.
they're like mini productions. They're like mini films. The only problem with them is like every time a new commercial comes on YouTube, I will you have my attention. I will watch it. It's when they keep repeating them. It's like a song on the radio on top 40 that you don't want to hear 10 times in a day. That's where it
true.
gets a problem. But
Yeah.
like
YouTube's the
commercials.
worst. YouTube will put the same commercial in front of your face the entire time. It's
Wow.
ridiculous.
And honestly,
like-
I take things too personally. I think every ad is geared towards me, and I take that so the wrong
I
way.
love
And I
that.
get out like I do not need to take a vacation, and I like just like angrily stream something else on
The
purpose.
worst,
So-
the
I
worst is
just
when
want to
you're
visit your head.
you're watching a show, and like Hulu does this a lot. You're watching a show, the family's all around, and every commercial is for some like sex drug or something. You know,
I
like,
don't need these sex drugs, and
yeah, like it's like what the hell? It's like all right, oh, you know, it's like my daughters are like right there.
Bro,
and
that's
just
for
like,
you specific. That is
Yeah,
based
like-
on your algorithm.
yeah,
Your
no,
TV knows what's up.
don't-
Dad, we
your
saw
fault.
that in the medicine cabinet. Why?
Yeah, I don't.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they just
No,
look at you and you're
no.
all like just blushing. And you're like, I
Yeah,
guess
you
I'll try
Google
this. I
something
don't
one
know.
time because you're not sure. But
Right, exactly.
Mhm. I can't. Honestly, my ego can't handle it. Whatever my computer, who's smarter than me, thinks that I need, I have to rebel against it. So I can't deal with commercials.
right,
So
it's-
I don't even look up hair products. Okay, I'm this is the way the Lord wants it to be. This is the way it is. And yet when I'm on Instagram or
Oh.
Facebook, it knows
Eats.
I'm bald
Mhm.
and thinks I want hair products. Thinks I want to bring the hair back. I've never clicked on the ad. I don't look on the ads. It's just look at this poor bald sap. We should help him. And
Yeah.
they keep sending me all of these ads. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
and it's hurtful. But if you ever do watch the ads, they're like, "Hey, doesn't it suck to be like you?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I
Jeff,
guess."
Jeff, maybe we can reverse the algorithm here. What would be cool products for a bald guy? Like awesome hats,
Yeah.
or like what would be like something like where like they're not trying to get you to have hair and conform
Movies.
to like society
Sunscreen.
hair.
TV
Yeah, it
shows.
would have to be. Well, the images would have to be a bald guy and how attractive he is for being bald, and then that's how you would probably trick the algorithm. But otherwise, it would be hats with fake hair. I guess I don't know.
It's just nonstop Jason Statham movies. That's it. Just the beekeeper over and over again.
It's learning a British accent as a bald man. That's
Yeah,
it
the
right there.
beekeeper is good.
It is good.
Let's see.
If you want to watch it, I'll send you a link.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Jerry's here on Facebook or something, maybe, or YouTube.
up, Jerry?
And Fred, and what's up? And
Hey, Fred.
Slide off.
Wise
Social
and
media.
John and Mark on the Insta. Hey everybody. So all right, so where were we? Oh yeah, we did the recap. So this week we're going to talk about Shanspeare. That's a YouTube channel. Jess is our YouTube correspondent. We're going to talk about
yeah.
Dix the musical, the fall of the House of Usher, and the greatest night in pop.
Ooh.
Let's start this off saucy with Dix the musical.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Okay,
Oh,
so
Borat.
I'm gonna handle this if that's okay, Jeff. I know that you probably haven't seen it. I don't know. So one of my new favorite movie studios or just any production studios is A24. They've been putting out nonstop bangers for a couple years now. They made like the Vavitch. They made my favorite movie of all time, Everything Everywhere All at Once. To me, they have not made a movie that I have not just thoroughly enjoyed. So when I found out that they finally made a musical, I was like, wow, I'll check this out. Why not? This company has not let me down. So in comes Dix, right? It's on HBO Max. Well, I guess Max now. It's on Max. You can also find it through Amazon Prime if you paid an extra $2 something, and you've also paid for Max, so it'll link it together for you. So I think I paid $40 some this month to watch this movie. Either way, So Dix actually started out as a 2-man stand-up, like kind of comedy act at the Upright Citizens Brigade between Aaron Jackson and Josh Sharp. What they wanted to do was they wanted to take the idea of a Parent Trap and kind of twist it a bit. And it did so well that they made a musical out of it. And then it got into the hands of Larry Charles. Larry Charles is a longtime producer of Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm. He is also the director of The Dictator and Bruno. So when I saw that, I'm like, wow, they're going to try to say something in this movie. Those movies, you like them or you don't like them, you either love them or you hate them. They're trying to say something about society. So once again, we got Aaron Jackson, Josh Sharp, and they made this musical. Now, the synopsis of this is: a pair of business rivals discover they're identical twins and decide to swap places in an attempt to trick their divorced parents to get back together. Classic Parent Trap. So I'm watching it. I'm watching. It's pretty good. Music's great. These two guys are very funny. They do not look alike whatsoever, but in the movie, everyone's like, wow, you guys are identical twins. And they find out they're identical twins and they look nothing alike. Like, it's two completely different guys, which is funny. And they make a point that these guys just bang a lot. Like, they're always having, like, they're so promiscuous, right? And you're like, I don't know. I kind of think you guys are very gay, but who knows? Whatever. Like, do your thing. I'm into it. But they keep kind of once they finally meet, then they start touching each other's face, and it's like, wow, they're obviously brothers, so this is going to be kind of weird. Well, in comes Nathan Lane and Megan Mullally, and I'm like, oh, so there's a cast in this. That's cool, and they're doing their own songs. Then this movie takes such a sharp turn, and I have never been caught off guard by any bit of media before. I'm just, in my living room, just tapping and bopping to these two guys that are obviously trying to get their parents back together. And then Nathan Lane comes in, and the best way to describe it is Nathan Lane was obviously the dad of these two identical twins, and at birth they separated. And he fell in love with these two creatures that he found in the sewer. And he keeps these creatures, and they're his love interest, and he can't decide what to do with them. But they're in diapers and they're tiny puppets. And I was like, wait a minute, what's happening here? And then you cut to Megan Mullally, and she's like in a wheelchair, and she's acting like real crazy. And she makes this offhanded reference that her vagina fell off. And it was until the
that's
end
why
of
she
the
had the
movie.
wheelchair.
And that's why in the movie, I realized that it was not a throwaway line. It actually was for a reason, and she pulls it out of her purse and she throws it at something to save the day. There is a bigger twist that I don't know if I should. I don't think anyone's going to watch this movie. If you look up the reviews, it's either ones and people are like, this is absolutely the worst POS I've ever seen in my life, or 10s, and it's like, wow, this thing was amazing. And I have to say, a lot of movies I watch just kind of wash over me, and I'm like, God, this is poorly written, this is poorly acted. Not many things stick with me. And the second that you asked me to be on the show, that popped in my brain so fast, because nothing has stuck with me in a way that this musical. Now, it's an hour and 27 minutes. It's super fast. You also have Megan Thee Stallion in it. You have Bowen Yang plays God. Bowen Yang's from SNL.
Yeah.
And
who wrote it? Who wrote? Do you know who wrote it? Like, did anyone?
It was the two guys. The two guys that play the twin brothers are this comedy duo. And yeah, they wrote it, and they added a bunch of extra stuff to make it turn out. And I don't really care, I guess, if this spoils things, but they fall in love, the two identical twin brothers, and they get married, and the whole thing is like, hey, love is love. And I honestly could not find a reason that I was not rooting for them to fall in love and kiss, knowing that they were twin identical brothers. And it is shocking. It was shocking how weirdly good this thing was, and it was bafflingly bizarre, and I almost hate it so much that I love it. And yeah, I watched it twice, and it is incredible. It is incredible how weird this thing is, and that's all I want. I want imagination. I want something new. I don't want to see the same stupid jokes in the same. two beautiful people falling in love. It's all boring anymore. And I have to put this in my brain and say, am I okay with this? Am I okay with non-identical twin brothers that fall in love and get married? Because love is love. And I guess I might be okay with it. I have no idea, but I can't stop talking about it. And no one else has seen it. So I'm stuck with it by myself. So please, somebody else watch it. Let me know what
I'm
you
going to
think.
watch it.
Well, I loved it.
With that cast, I have to see what the
it's
heck
great.
you're talking
Yeah.
about. If I can watch her throw a vagina out of her purse, I'm in.
It flies. It's crazy.
Jerry's a twin. Jerry's adamantly against this musical.
Honestly, bro, I'm for it. I'm for it. And if you need support, I'm an ally to you. I can tell you that.
Oh, and let's all say hi to Marcy's mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Marcy's mom.
Hi,
My mom loves Nathan Lane.
Oh, Nathan Lane is he's so great. And the cool thing is, like, during the credits is like the bloopers, and you can tell that there are parts that he is just shocked that he has to do. And he literally says, like, this is the worst thing I've ever had to do in my career. And it is so great. Like, it's a normal musical, kind of funny. You're like, these obviously aren't twins. I don't care. And then Megan Thee Stallion's there, and they're like fighting each other about who's a better salesman and who, gets better girls. And then it goes nuts. And I'm 100% for it. So watch it. And
do you think Dix the musical is better than the vagina monologues? I mean, is it like
totally different feel? I'm sure.
All I'm saying is
the vagina monologues is pretty good.
They should release both those movies at the same time, like Barbie and Oppenheimer.
You can get a package. They sell the DVDs together.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they can't put them right together because then you end up with other DVDs. Anyway, all right.
Mm-hmm. That's how it goes. Once it starts, like rabbits.
That's how babies are made.
That's how baby DVDs are made.
Yeah, I guarantee you, like the 5 people on this panel, if all 5 of you, well, I guess if the rest of 4 of you watch this, 2 of you will hate this thing, like hate it, and probably hate me for even suggesting.
I kind of hate you for even. I'm hating you for even reviewing it.
I can't believe you watched it twice.
Yeah. Well, twice that's less than normal for Zach.
That's true. Yeah,
That is true.
Normally I really get down on some movies, but this one I only watched twice. I'm not a huge fan of musicals. I get the genre, but it takes a lot for me to continuously listen to music in general. But yeah, this thing is baffling. It is so cool, so weird, but yeah, interesting.
All right. Well,
wow.
let's move on to
I'm gonna watch.
something.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, we're gonna check it out. We're gonna check it. Marcy's gonna check it out and report back.
Mm-hmm.
I will let you know.
Yes. All right. So let's move on to the Fall of the House of Usher from the creator of The Haunting of Hill House. I saw that.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
All right. So this guy's name is Mike Flanagan. He's a writer-director. And he has a lot of, I don't know if he has like an exclusive deal with Netflix, but he's a lot of stuff on Netflix. So much so that I've noticed they're calling it the Flanagan verse. And I am like knee deep into this thing. I saw the Fall of the House of Usher. I was like, oh my God, this show is amazing. And so I have to consume all of this guy's other stuff. I found out that he did Hush, which was kind of like his breakthrough movie with his wife, Kate Siegel. And that one was about a woman who's deaf, and then there's a home invader. It was a fantastic film. So he has like a really great understanding of horror and pacing. So he did The House on Haunting Hill, which was incredible. He did the Haunting of Bly Manor. He did The Midnight Club. He did Midnight Mass. These are all in the Flanagan verse. So The Fall of the House of Usher, I was completely enthralled. It's about, I'll give you the log line. So to secure their fortune and future, 2 ruthless siblings build a family dynasty that begins to crumble when their heirs mysteriously die one by one. Now, Flanagan likes to adapt stuff. So like Bly Manor was a book. And so this is actually a short story by Edgar Allan Poe. So he actually uses some of the poetry from that short story in the dialogue. And then you follow each unique episode from one of the kids. And they're all horrible people. You're not rooting for them to die, but when they die, you like don't feel bad about it. You're like, yeah, I mean, you had it coming. You're a terrible person. So it's not like, oh, I hope they can defeat this curse they have. It's like, how is this really going to end? Because they're all going to die. So essentially, they make a Faustian deal to have the biggest, to become the Koch brothers, essentially, to just rule the country, rule the world, to be unprosecuted. Like you can't even attack them in court because they have the most powerful lawyer, because they have all the money. And so it's just kind of watching this take on vanity, power, greed, control, and how it can be played out through this like pseudo revenge story of a Faustian deal. Absolutely incredible. He uses the same actors in all of his films and shows, which is so cool. So he uses his wife, who is incredibly talented. I mean, you'll see directors, sometimes they'll put family or spouses in there because they're just trying to help them get work. Katie Siegel is amazing. He's got Carla Gugino. He uses Henry Thomas, who you'll remember is the little boy from E.T. He's in everything that he does. So it's a really great show. So I say check out The Fall of the House of Usher. It has one of the best moments of dialogue I've ever heard, where he talks about how to spin something with lemonade. It's absolutely incredible. I'm not going to go through the whole
I
speech
saw
for
that.
you.
I saw that clip on like
You saw that?
TikTok
Yeah.
or something. Yeah,
How to
brilliant.
sell
Brilliant.
lemonade. It was absolutely incredible. So like definitely check out The Fall of the House of Usher. I watched it like Zack. I watched it a couple times, man.
Yeah, I loved in the first one, the house Haunting of Hill House, which
Yeah.
that was like a Shirley Jackson book or story or something.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think
a
he
story.
adapted it.
Yeah, and I thought Henry Thomas was so great. And then he was at the Motor City Comic Con. I went out.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I had him sign an ET 8x10, of course, but but I was like, you were so amazing in this. It was great. It's fun when Ryan Murphy does that, where he uses the same characters
And he
all
was in Blind Manor. He was in Midnight Mass, which is a wild show. Like I've gone through all these shows in the past 2 weeks. I've been just binging them like nuts. And he's different in every single show, and a uniquely different character, uniquely different accent. I mean, he goes from an old British guy to a young fisherman. It's wild. So yeah, it's really, really good.
Okay, so this is 8 episodes. This is relatively new, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I think it came out like 2-3 months ago.
Okay.
I've literally been following this, like Kate Siegel's Instagram, and have never seen the show. So I've just been watching like the behind the scenes of something I used to know nothing about, but now I've been filled in.
Oh yeah, man, get on it.
Is Kate Siegel from Married with Children? Like who's Kate Siegel?
No,
that's his wife.
Similar name.
Katie Seagal.
That's it.
Katie Seagal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Katie Seagal is
just don't
married
know
to
Kate.
Steven Seagal, I believe.
Shut up. Did not know that. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Wait, what didn't your mom not like?
I don't think she liked the show. I don't know. Maybe it was the music.
I doubt she's
Probably
not dick for
dicks.
music. No, she like. No. Sorry.
I don't know. I was gonna ask her that, but then yeah, so maybe she'll chime back in.
Okay.
We'll
That
see.
was nice restraint, Jeff. Good job.
All right. Okay. Let's. Well, thank you, Jeff's his triumphant return to the show. All right.
I was actually in a 100-episode ban, so like this is my episode back. So I can come back.
Jeff's
now.
like, I'm free tonight. I'm like, let's do it. All right. Let's head on over to our YouTube correspondent. There's so much content on YouTube and
On the ground, YouTube correspondent. Yes.
On the ground, and we're lucky. Last time Jess was here, she came to us from LA, or was that 2 times ago?
I'm in LA as well right now.
I meant from the streets of LA.
Oh, right. That's true. I was actually on the ground. Oh my God. Had to do it. Yeah. That was fun. That was a little bit of a shakeup, wasn't it?
That was All right, take us to the world of We Lost Marcy. Don't take it personally or internet.
Oh, take a shot.
Take a shot, everyone. All right, Jess, Paul, take it away.
We're going to take a lot of shots because I have some tea to tell you guys about what's been going on.
She brought
YouTube.
tea for that exact moment.
I need to proceed, Shanspeare, with a little bit of how I found them. So
spill it.
There was this major drama going on YouTube. I saw this video and all of this drama surrounding a YouTuber I actually watch called James Somerton. I paid his Patreon. There are so few people that I actually pay Patreons if I ever hear that they have a Patreon. And he was one of them because there was one day that he got online and was like, we may not be able to do this anymore if we don't have money. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. I will spend money to watch your free YouTube videos because he was really good. Basically what he did was he was an essayist. I watch a lot of essays on YouTube, a lot of essayists to give me the opinions that I don't have. So that, I I don't read many books. I've read Jeff's, but I really don't put in the time. So I need somebody to feed me what I'm supposed to think. So when it comes to gay culture and gay history, James was such an amazing foundation for a lot of things that I had no idea about. And he was somebody that whenever he would go over a piece of media, much like this show, I would go and watch it immediately after. Even if he had spoiled everything for me, I would go and watch a movie like the infamous Showgirls, which is her, famously terrible and just, but I was just so enthralled by what he had to say. And so I see this 3.5 hour, I believe, takedown video about him and heard all about it. I'm like, well, I would love to know what they have to say, but I'm not sitting here and listening for 3.5 hours to somebody I don't know. It was put up by this another essayist called H. Bomber Guy, and he was talking about plagiarism on YouTube. And so finally, another one of my theorists, my essayists on YouTube, just they brought him up again. I'm like, okay, I need to figure out what's going on. I need to understand. Basically, this guy would show James sitting and talking and reading his script, what we thought was his script, and then literally would take us through the text of a book that he didn't cite at all. And it would go on for just minutes and minutes of James Somerton literally reading, just reading right from the book without us knowing, with just claiming it was his own writing. Crazy town. I was like, I had never felt so duped in such a long time. I went to go take my Patreon, my Patreon contribution back, but he just disabled everything. It was insane. So anyways, during this 3.5 hour takedown by H. Bomber Guy, ready for the take. I was like, they actually brought up some other people that if you were interested in this topic, here's some other good essayists, which was a great idea because I had nowhere to go. So, and I already do watch a lot of LGBTQ plus because I mean, against my history, I myself am bisexual, but I feel sometimes I'm either like on the outskirts of the LGBT just because we don't fit in exactly with one or the other. We're just kind of in the middle there, shares like half breed, not, we don't belong anywhere. So anyways,
excellent
Shanspeare,
share, by the way.
Was that?
Excellent share.
Thank you. So Shanspeare basically does their own essays, and I'm probably going to mess this up because they are non-binary, but they present so feminine and they talk about femininity. That's one of the main objectives of the channel. I've been binging for the last week so many videos having to do with the sad girl to female rage pipeline. This is talking about how in horror a lot of females are always being pushed to the edge, trying to be delicate and releasing their emotions out through tears instead of rage until finally they break like Carrie, and what that takes. I just started watching a video on Lolita, another book I have not read, but goodness knows I watch so many reviews about movies I've never watched and just know so much about them then. another video that I was really interested in, this is actually a two-parter. It was the whole dissection of trad wives, traditional wives, this movement where women are kind of, they are brushing off the modern idea of working for yourself, having your own independence, and wanting to go back to those olden days of wanting to just be, subservient to their husband. And what the pros and cons of that is, because within femininity, that's obviously a choice. Like, you want to give somebody the choice of doing that, but it's when it kind of impedes into other people's freedom that it gets a little bit dicey. So Shanspeare basically dresses in the cutest outfits, the cutest wigs, and they're always in a little tableau to give us the tea on what they're thinking about these topics. And I'm always enlightened. They're always and Shanspeare is Black, so there's always that element of race and how that plays into feminism and the history that comes up under all these subjects. I've been very educated over the past week, and I've been listening to Shanspeare. Shanspeare, the name, by the way, their name is Shania, and they're basically putting their English lit degree to work. Like, so many people, we go to college, I have an art degree. What a great idea that was. But I found out a way to use it in a way that was lucrative, and along with a lot of other people, I'm sure, on this panel, that have made the most of their education and really just or not, or just like kind of went up and above the clouds to find their own path. But
Jeff wrote a book.
What's that?
Jeff wrote a book.
Jeff did write a book. Yes, a very, very good book, and very popular.
I do not have a degree.
Yes. Well, that is, that's just even more for it. Like, that's even another two fist pumps. But Shanspeare does, and basically it's like listening to a fun, snarky college essay on a topic with memes sprinkled in and adorable 50s costumes. That I love fashion.
Awesome.
I'm often fashion over substance.
That's awesome.
That's so great. I love, there's nothing better than following a YouTuber for a while, and then you get like a takedown video and you're like, wait a second, oh my God. And you see another takedown video, you're like, oh my God. And then you find like a new YouTuber because they just took down the other YouTuber so hard.
That's how I found, true.
Yeah, that's how I found Swoop. Swoop was the one that spilled a lot of tea on Illuminati. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God, I know who Swoop is too. Yeah.
So yeah, now
I'll Swoop.
No, Swoop is smart. But no, I just sent a link to Shanspeare to my daughter and to my wife as well. So it sounds right up our alley. So good job.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. And talk about also watching a progression, because when it comes to these YouTubers, I don't know, how long has Shanspeare even been doing this? I've watched, because I'm kind of jumping around in their timeline, I've watched like the quality of the, well, this is literally every YouTuber, the quality of the show literally incline over the course of it. And of course you're watching one personality also just build upon themselves and find their style, find their rhythm. And it's been really fun to do that too in this last week.
You're making me want to reach out to them and see if I can have them on my show and talk story. It sounds like they really know their stuff.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Breaking the mold again. Yeah, going into a different. You're welcome from the YouTube correspondent.
The fact that you brought tea, which is clearly ice cold at this point, but
it is pretty cold. It's pretty lukewarm.
So, speaking of tea, one quick tangent before we get to the next show, but you guys, do you know Jeff and Jess might know, maybe Zack, do you know what a blind item is? Okay, so a blind item is, I follow these two people on TikTok. A blind item is a news kind of snippet. It'll be like something like this. A plus actor with his barely B+ girlfriend slash fake whatever was found at the dog park kicking dogs, and then they'll go, and this was allegedly Bradley Cooper and or whatever. I just made that up, but like Bradley Cooper does not kick dogs.
I knew he kicked dogs.
But but that's what this is. It's
I'm
like
telling everybody
like,
he kicked dogs.
so it's like her name is Kyle Marissa Roth. That's her name. And so it's based on like this website, and they just read them, and then they do these things, and it's like, here's the Grammy items. This A+ person with wearing a white hair wig, Beyonce, was doing this, and like or whatever, or snuck out after her.
It's like a little game within a news story. Is that right?
Yeah, but it's like stuff that gets leaked by either like their assistants or somebody. So it's like news that allegedly is true. But it's written so generic, so apparently so no one can get sued. I'm obsessed.
Oh.
I'm obsessed.
You're obsessed with it?
I'm
It's like a
obsessed
smarter
with it.
TMZ.
Yeah, it's just so fun.
Mini wreck.
Yeah.
So, anywho,
We
okay.
need a TikTok correspondent next.
Now, this next special ignited an entire generation of people to be excited. This is the greatest night in pop.
Yes.
Untold story behind.
Oh, it's a documentary.
World.
It's a documentary, and it's an hour and a half. I have 10 minutes left. I don't know how it ends. I don't know if the song ever got on, ever made it to the radio. I don't know if
we can't go
Ethiopia is still
on.
hungry. No, so I don't know how old you all are, if you've seen this. I know Jeff saw it, but so I was 14 when this song hit MTV and hit my radio. My Sony Dream Machine in my bedroom. I listen to this song all the time. It has over 40 of the greatest legendary singers that got together for one night to sing one song to raise money to stop famine in Ethiopia. And what was going on was horrible. And Band-Aid, they were first. Their song was actually, I thought, better. It's Christmas time.
Yeah.
If Jeff were to play it right now, I'd
Do
stop.
they know it's Christmas time?
So good. Then Harry Belafonte was all, white people are saving black people. Black people need to start saving black people. Lionel Richie, you need to get in on, and like, we need to do our own song. We need to get the best of the best. And the American Music Awards were coming up, and he was hosting, Lionel Richie. They're like, this is the night. All these amazing singers are going to be in town. We need to talk to them. We need to get them. We need to write a song. We're going to call Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder is not only blind, but he did not hear his phone ring, and he never answered. So Michael Jackson got the next phone call.
True,
and Michael Jackson wrote this.
They subtly throw shade on certain people throughout.
Yeah, they do. This is a documentary. They have so much footage. It's so exciting. It's like Netflix has just like reminded people that they've got footage, and we just keep seeing in all these different ways, whether they're just regular people or famous people, there's footage out there, and Netflix wants it. And we're just being entertained with these amazing documentaries from things that have happened in our past. So yes, this is a fabulous documentary. And once again, we love that hour and a half thing, because there's something about an hour and 30 minutes where we're like, you have my attention for an hour and 30 minutes, and I have an hour and 30 minutes. And thank you for not really going above that. It is so entertaining. And they really do have so much footage of all these singers that come together. So let's go back. Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie really do write We Are the World. And it's done within just a matter of like a week or less. It's so quick. Harry Belafonte's idea. They get Quincy Jones. He's the best to like help them direct and produce it. And then, okay, so y'all know I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. He's interviewed, some of the people are interviewed about it. Bruce Springsteen's interviewed. I believe Cyndi Lauper is interviewed, and Lionel Richie, of course, is interviewed. Michael Jackson, they couldn't get him; he wasn't available. But Who else?
Huey Lewis.
Huey Lewis is interviewed. You're right. In fact, I was watching it. Some people and they're like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "That's Huey Lewis." It's so fun to see some of these singers now. But in any case, it literally talks about the entire night. So let's go back. American Music Awards. They're there to do a regular award show. Lionel Richie he hosted it. He won a tremendous amount of awards. And he knew as soon as it ended, everyone was going to A&M Records, I'm pretty sure that's where it was, to go record this song that they know nothing. And they keep showing the clock with this live footage. It's awesome. So next thing you know, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's 5:30 in the morning. They've been going at it all night long. They're exhausted. And so these are like some of the notes that I took. Okay, so all right, Al Jarreau, he's apparently wasted. He keeps bringing more bottles of wine in. They keep removing the bottles of wine. He's a drinker. All right, Cyndi Lauper, they're like, "Where's the feedback? What's going on?" She starts yelling at everyone. "Why is everyone talking?" They're like, "Cyndi, it's the jewelry you're wearing. It's interfering with the mic." She's like, "It looks like she just freaking was like mobbed at like in
she was full on Cyndi Lauper.
Orleans. She was at like Mardi Gras, and she's like wearing thousands of beads, and she starts taking them off. What were you saying, Jeff?
I'm saying she was full on Cyndi Lauper. Yeah.
Total full on Cyndi Lauper. She's like got all this stuff on. Okay, Bruce Springsteen, magical, sounded amazing. He was perfect and sexy. He looked great. He looks great now. He looked great then. He can do no wrong. Sheila E. was there. They brought her like from the awards, and then she flat out is being interviewed. She was one of the people currently interviewed. She's like, "Listen, they were using me just to get Prince there. They wanted Prince there. They're like, call Prince again and tell him he should be here. We're all having so much fun." Prince did not show up. He's not in it. And you know what? Shame on him. He should have been there. Bob Dylan was there. And like, it's so interesting how uncomfortable he is in this group. He's a different kind of singer. He's very uncomfortable. But Stevie Wonder, which what they said, he was a great mimicker. So Bob Dylan's part in this song is so famous because he has a much different sound, but his part in We Are the World, it's such a famous part. Stevie Wonder sang to Bob Dylan like Bob Dylan sings and was like, like, do it like this. We are the world. Like he like literally sounded just like him. And Bob Dylan did exactly what Stevie Wonder said. Stevie Wonder did all that. It was amazing. Quincy Jones like had to keep everyone in order. It was like they were exhausted and it was a crazy night. And it was just, and it's such a famous song and they really did a lot for Ethiopia. But in any case, it's just one of those extremely entertaining documentaries that you don't want to miss. It's a ton of fun. It's got the perfect length. It's on Netflix. And I have to just say, like, is this a song you guys all listen to? Like, I listened to it when it came out. I listened to it for 2 years straight. Like,
I was obsessed with the video as well.
The video, yeah. Right? We were MTV kids. I don't know. I'm 50. I'm about to be 53 next week, so I don't know how old you guys are. You guys
42.
So I mean, like, this was like a big deal for me.
So a couple other cool things on this documentary is, one is the subtitle could have been "The Greatest Night in Pop." Where the fuck was Prince? And we're going to make it very clear that he didn't show up.
He did not show up.
I feel bad.
He doesn't like crowds. He's weird. He didn't like crowds.
I do feel bad. Sheila E.'s point was, I just sang at the AMAs. I'm here. You're not giving me a solo. And, she was pretty hot at the time. And so, Prince not showing up was, I think people have always talked about that, how he eventually gave a song to the album. But for him to like, he's shy or whatever. The interesting thing about this is not only did, like Marcy said, Quincy Jones put a sign that said, "Check your ego at the door."
Correct. Yes.
None of them were allowed to bring any of their entourage in. So without having any entourage, it was just all of them.
No assistants or anything. You just
and it's sort of humanized them all in that group. I will say Stevie Wonder was very annoying throughout the process, because you got to keep something in mind. Like, well, the other thing that was insanely cool, by the way, is that the order that they all went in was no accident. Like, somebody studied all of their vocal patterns and range and if one person came after another person or we were harmonizing together, it's because they studied it and figured out that they would go together and made sure that everybody had a part that fit how they sing.
That's true.
Which,
Yes.
I mean, and you got
It was
50 people here
amazing.
that all sing different. And so so yeah, the Stevie Wonder thing was awesome. I was disappointed that there weren't more people. There's only about interestingly enough, there's maybe less than 10 people in that, and this is from the 80s
Present
that have
present
passed
time that
away.
spoke about it, you mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that they didn't like have they didn't interview Quincy Jones. They had some recordings where he was talking about it, but you know, there was a lot of they could have got Billy Joel. I mean, obviously some of them have passed away, but only like
You're
10.
right.
There was a you know, but one of the annoying things like that Stevie Wonder, they were all of a sudden they were trying to culturize make the song fit the culture of the people they were singing about. And this is like all of a sudden at 5 a.m, there's 50 people. They're trying to do a song in one night.
Right.
And now they're changing it. Wailing Jennings is like, I'm out of here.
He left. He was like, I don't speak Swahili.
Yeah.
Because Stevie Wonder was like trying to add in a whole bunch of Swahili verses and that right. They lost it.
They didn't try and interview Wailing Jennings to say, do you regret leaving? You know what I mean? Like, you know, like anything like there was, but here's the most disappointing part about the whole thing to me. And when I say that, if you just watch it, it's amazing. Okay. But if you go on my Twitter or you just go on YouTube and type in We Are the World documentary, Jane Fonda did this same thing 2 years ago.
That's true. It's on Apple TV right now.
Yeah. And there isn't
I almost watched it by accident.
Yeah. And there isn't any other new footage, really. I mean, it's all the same footage.
Oh.
And also, interestingly enough, in the new one, they try and rewrite history and make you think that it was a one-night thing. But the reality is the majority of it was. But they did have people come and redo some of those solos later. You know, not that it, you know, but I mean, it was just interesting that they just tried to reframe it as this thing that they pulled off in one night when they really there was more to the story. You know, not that it matters. It's still amazing, but it's just interesting choice.
Who's the guy that said he gave him an invoice and didn't realize it was volunteer?
Oh, like one of the video guys.
Yeah.
Was like, yeah. And it was like, it's like, yeah, we're all doing this for free. and so it was interesting. Like Madonna, they didn't invite. And she was like on top of everything. They wanted Cyndi Lauper, who her part was perfect, but
it's epic.
But I mean, if you can have Dan Aykroyd sitting there, I mean,
Dan
there's
Aykroyd,
really no reason.
They specifically wanted him.
There's no reason you can't have Madonna there also,
but
you know.
I mean, he and John Belushi, they were entertainers. They were on stage singing. He was a blues brother.
Oh, yeah. I didn't mean anything about Dan Aykroyd. I just meant like if you're gonna have Dan Aykroyd, you should really invite Madonna too. She was there. She was at the AMAs. And it was just interesting when they were trying to put it together and they're like, the only way we're going to be able to do this is to draft off of the AMAs because everyone's going to be there.
Right.
They got, and then Marcy surprisingly didn't mention this because she's in love with Bruce Springsteen, but Bruce Springsteen wasn't at the AMAs. He was at a concert somewhere else
in Buffalo
and flew in. And so did Diane Warwick. And then the weather was horrible. So the weather almost prevented them from being there as well.
But also Bruce had a rule that he does not travel the day after a show.
Right. So,
but he let it slide because people were dying in Africa.
And Prince had a rule that he eats Mexican after the AMAs and had to go to the Mexican restaurant. Okay, but so it's all about priorities in terms of what you want to do. But it's an amazing thing. They also had Bob Geldof there, who was a bit of a voice of reason. He kind of encouraged them and let them really understand what they were
why
doing
they were all there
and the impact they were about to have. And when Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder started going a little out of scope with how they wanted to add things to the song, he was there to say, guys, this song is for the people we're asking for money from. The people you're singing it for are never going to hear this song.
They're never going to hear it.
So let's stay focused.
What a note.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining. Very interesting story.
If you grew up in that time, or even if you just have interest in it, it's amazing. It really is that they pulled it off.
It was fun. I was so
general.
glad when I saw how short it was and that it wasn't. I think Jane Fonda's is more than one episode.
James is it may be just a little longer. I think it's still one documentary now. And now Terry Fader, the puppet person, Terry Fader.
Yeah.
Now he's doing like his We Are the World, and where he has little hand puppets, and it's clear like he puts his hand down. Someone must be putting a hand puppet on that hand, and then he brings up. So he's like, he brings up the Kenny Rogers. We can't go on pretending day birthday, but it's like they aren't all the greatest impressions, but when you think. He's not really moving his mouth.
Sure.
Mhm.
And he's still pulling off a pretty decent impression. And really good in some cases, pretty decent in others. Then it's pretty impressive when you think like he's just
Can I stream that or do I have to go to Vegas?
Yeah, it's on like YouTube. It was like
Oh.
it was going viral and stuff. So
I want to see that.
yeah, there's a lot of things where people who can do a lot of the voices, they'll do it.
Does he all the money he makes from that video, does he send it to Africa?
I don't know. I don't know, but he should. He should.
He should. Yes, he should.
Evan Hirsch, Brian Green, Jason Greer, Yacht Rock Baby, Jay Chris, Jaka Humor, all joining us on the Insta. What's up?
Oh, are they all in the video?
They're all in the video. They tried to redo We Are the World years later, probably a decade ago now. Didn't work. Didn't work at all. But
wow,
With
to be
All right.
a fly on the wall and watching them do that, or a fly in Ethiopia,
Well, the other thing is, I can't remember who was the first one that did it. One of the stars went up to someone else and was just like, was the biggest fan and had them sign their music.
Yeah,
And then they all did. Once one person broke the seal on that,
Right.
they were all like, "Oh, okay, this is okay." And then they all were asking for each other's autographs.
keep
It's
in
nice.
touch.
But what was
Call me.
I think all that I think it all happened because they didn't let in any assistants or anything like that. They just had to be themselves, and so
Yeah,
all
it was
right.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was
It was
beautiful.
beautiful.
It's a great.
Diana
it's
Ross
very
cried
great.
at the end. She didn't want to leave. It was a beautiful moment, and the fact that they freaking were able to show us so much of that footage was awesome.
So awesome. So awesome. All right, we're at the end. Zach, say goodnight.
Oh man, good night. Listen, if you want to do anything, go to something that I call google.com and type in just 8 quick letters, Jess Paul. You know what shows up? Jess Paul. Get in there.
Thank you, Zach.
Geoffrey.
And make sure to check out Zack Wiseman. He's a pretty awesome guy. I've been on his show.
And Jess Paul.
Hey, and Jeff has this book that everybody just loves. Good night, guys.
It is a great book, by the way, just for the record. It is a great book.
It is a great book. Marcy.
Yes, I am totally Googling Jess Paul, and I'm reading Jeff's book because I totally have a screenplay that I want to write. So I'll see you on your show. And good night, you guys.
And I'm Jeff Dwoskin, and that's it. Come back next week, and we'll have a good time. All right. I have a podcast, Classic Conversations. No one mentioned that, but whatever. All right. Bye, everyone.
That was Marcy's job.
And that has been another episode of Crossing the Streams. Join us every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Facebook and YouTube. Follow the Jeff Dwoskin Show on YouTube to be alerted every time we go live with your hosts, Jeff Dwoskin, Ron Lippett, Howard Rosner, Bob Phillips, Sal D'Amelio. We're all in the socials. Follow us, listen to our podcasts, Classic Conversations, and the Sal and Bob Show. Check them all out, and we'll see you next week and every week when we cross more streams right here. See you then.